Good Tuesday morning prospect. I don't know about you, but it feels like it's been forever since I sat and talked with you. The things in order of priority in my mind. Homecoming is coming up the 26th of September. It is going to be a good day. We need as many people to come as are comfortable, and we want to make sure that everything that should be taken care of is. And I'm in the unenviable position that we didn't have a homecoming last year, which would have been my first year, and so I'm having to try to learn it in the middle of a pandemic and other things that are going on. So, as I understand it, there are usually donations requested from the Sunday school classes, and if you would take this as a request so that the church might be able to provide chicken and or whatever the church usually provides. You don't have to be part of a Sunday school class to make that donation. We're going to have several preachers. We're going to have a day of singing. This is intended to be old-fashioned. So we look forward to old-fashioned homecoming. And dinner on the grounds is going to be that. Come, wear a mask, don't wear a mask, stay away from people, sit right next to your best friend. It's homecoming. Act like you have good sense. Next Wednesday, we are going to have, not next Wednesday, tomorrow, we are going to have a meeting to talk about the direction of the church. I've gotten a good number of questions, and I'm going to do my best to answer them. An awful lot of the questions I've gotten, I want you to know, are the type of question that you would ask if this were a presidential election. What do we do after the election? And the truth of the matter is, some of those questions you can't answer because you don't know who's going to be elected. There are procedures that are going to be voted on. If they are approved, we will have a reasonable idea of what direction we're going. If they are not approved, we will have a reasonable idea of which direction this is going. But the truth of the matter is, right now, we're in no man's land. We don't know which direction anything is going to take because of coronavirus. General conference sessions have been put off 3 times now. So that's going to be a default answer that I know you won't like, but it's the answer. I do want you to come. I want you to ask your questions, if nothing else, for the simple reason that if I know the question, I can find the answer. If I don't know the question, I don't know how to find the answer. I preached homecoming at my first church on the 5th. Had a wonderful time. I realize that one of the best things about homecoming is the food and the fellowship. And because of circumstances there, we were not able to have the food and the fellowship to the extent that I would have liked. I want us to be able to have the food and the fellowship. This past weekend, I was actually on vacation, and I was in South Florida with my wife and a bunch of people she grew up with. I have a better understanding of why my wife is the way she is, because some of the people that she grew up with are, well, let's just say they're a few cards short of a deck. And I loved them. They were great fun. But it does explain a lot. So the thing I noticed this weekend is that we have, as a society, forgotten how to be civil. One of the restaurants we went into let our server go in the middle of our meal. And I'm not trying to decide or judge or offer a comment on whether they needed to be let go. But I do know one thing I learned a long time ago. If you've got something hurtful to say, sometimes hurtful things need to be said, but you need to do it in private, and you need to make sure that the person doesn't feel like they were mistreated and abused in the process. I had conversation with someone who's recently lost a loved one, and they are absolutely angry at God. And that's okay too. But in the going to and from Florida, we had to wear masks on the plane and in the airport. And I complied with that because that was what I was asked to do. I am deeply disturbed that there are people who won't cooperate, because that's just being ugly and hateful. If the rule is you wear the mask to get on the airplane, then that's the rule. I make no secret of the fact that I got my shot so I wouldn't have to play the mask game. But they've asked. I don't know where we got off the rails, folks, but in several movies, I've heard the phrase, "It's not about you." And I think we as a society need to accept that it's not always about us. So I hope and I pray that we can learn to get along with and live with one another. But that means that if I'm going to respect your opinion, you have to respect mine. It does not work if it's only one way. If I respect your opinion and you don't respect mine, that makes me a slave. And it works the other way. If you respect my opinion and I don't respect yours, then I'm treating you like a slave. We need to all get along, and we need to all grow up, and we need to learn to accept each other's flaws and foibles, and accept each other, warts and all. I have mine. I hope you recognize the fact that you have yours, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow night, and I look forward to seeing you at homecoming. And I will tell you that tomorrow night, we're not going to broadcast it, because I want you to be able to ask the questions you want to ask without fear of any kind of delayed response. So tomorrow night will be untelevised. Prospect, it's good to be home. It's good to be back. I am blessed to be able to say that I am your pastor. You are a wonderful church. See you soon.